Welcome to this video on communicable diseases. These are illnesses that can spread between organisms, from person to person, or from animals to humans. Understanding this topic is essential for your biology exam success. Communicable diseases, also known as infectious diseases, are caused by pathogens. They spread in various ways: through the air, contaminated water, vectors like mosquitoes, or by direct contact. A pathogen is simply a microorganism that causes disease. When they enter the body, they can damage tissues or produce toxins. For GCSE Biology, you need to know 4 main types: bacteria, viruses, fungi, and protists. Bacteria are single-celled prokaryotic organisms found everywhere. While many are beneficial, pathogenic bacteria can cause harm by damaging cells directly or by releasing toxins. For example, Salmonella causes food poisoning. Viruses are much smaller than bacteria and are not living cells. They cannot reproduce on their own, so they must invade a living host cell and hijack its machinery. Remember, viruses always reproduce inside living cells. Fungi can be single-celled or multicellular and obtain nutrients by breaking down organic matter. They spread via spores. Examples include rose black spot in plants and athlete's foot in humans, which spreads through direct contact. Protists are single-celled eukaryotes with a nucleus. Some are parasites, living on or inside a host. A key example is Plasmodium, which causes malaria and is transmitted to humans by the Anopheles mosquito. Here is a quick summary. Bacteria cause illness via toxins or cell damage. Viruses reproduce inside host cells. Fungi spread by spores, and protists are often parasitic, like the cause of malaria. Pathogens have evolved several transmission routes. The 4 main ways they spread are through the air, water, by direct contact, or via biological vectors. Understanding these routes is vital for public health. Airborne transmission occurs when an infected person coughs, sneezes, or breathes, releasing pathogen-filled droplets. These can linger in poorly ventilated spaces and travel up to 2 meters, affecting others nearby. Waterborne transmission happens when drinking water or food preparation water becomes contaminated. This is common where sanitation is poor. Boiling water is an effective way to kill most of these pathogens. Direct contact transmission involves physical interaction. This includes skin-to-skin contact, the exchange of body fluids like in HIV transmission, or touching contaminated surfaces known as fomites, where pathogens can survive. Finally, vectors are organisms that carry a pathogen from one host to another without being harmed. Mosquitoes, for example, carry malaria. Controlling these vector populations is a critical strategy for disease prevention. To summarize, the 4 routes are air, water, direct contact, and vectors. Each requires different public health strategies. Blocking these routes effectively reduces the spread of disease. The rate at which diseases spread through a population depends on factors like population density, sanitation standards, and global travel. Modern travel can turn a local issue into a global epidemic rapidly. Infected individuals serve as the primary source of communicable diseases. During the incubation period, a person may feel healthy even while unknowingly spreading the pathogen. This reality highlights why testing and contact tracing are so vital. When a person is infected, even with mild symptoms, self-isolation is crucial. By staying separated from others, you can prevent the unknown transmission of the pathogen, helping to keep your community safe and the disease under control. Prevention is always better than a cure. Strategies like maintaining good hygiene, vaccination, isolation, and supporting immune defense all work by targeting specific points in the transmission chain to stop pathogens in their tracks. Good hygiene is one of our most effective tools. Simple actions like thorough hand washing for 20 seconds, covering coughs and sneezes, proper food preparation, and regularly cleaning surfaces help break the chain of transmission. Vaccination is a powerful medical strategy. By introducing a harmless form of a pathogen, vaccines train your immune system to produce antibodies and memory cells. This prepares your body to fight off the real disease rapidly. Vaccination also creates herd immunity. When a large enough proportion of the population is vaccinated, the pathogen struggles to find new hosts. This protects vulnerable people who cannot be vaccinated themselves, such as those with compromised immune systems. Isolation is another essential strategy. Whether it is self-isolating at home, using hospital wards for highly contagious diseases, or quarantine for those exposed but symptom-free, separating individuals prevents pathogens from reaching new, healthy hosts. If prevention fails, your immune system acts as a natural defense. It uses 2 main approaches: a non-specific response, like your skin and mucus acting as physical barriers, and a specific response where white blood cells target pathogens. White blood cells are the heavy hitters here. Phagocytes engulf and digest pathogens, while lymphocytes produce specific antibodies. Memory cells are also created, ensuring that future infections by the same pathogen are met with an even faster, stronger defense. Antibodies are unique proteins that bind to specific antigens on a pathogen's surface. Once the threat is neutralized, those memory cells persist, essentially providing your body with a long-term record to quickly recognize and defeat recurring invaders. Your nonspecific defenses work tirelessly before a pathogen even enters your system. Intact skin acts as a barrier, mucus traps invaders in the airways, and stomach acid provides a harsh environment that kills many ingested pathogens. When we look at the entire defense chain, it is clear that each layer builds on the last. The deeper a pathogen attempts to penetrate, the more powerful and targeted the body's response becomes to prevent illness. Don't forget that plants also deal with communicable diseases. They can be infected by bacteria, viruses, fungi, and protists. Common examples include the tobacco mosaic virus, rose black spot, and crown gall disease. The tobacco mosaic virus is a widespread plant pathogen that causes characteristic mosaic-like discoloration on leaves. Because it disrupts chlorophyll production, it stunts growth and significantly reduces crop yields in affected plants. Rose black spot is a common fungal disease. Spores spread via water, like rain splashes, and cause dark spots on leaves, leading to yellowing and premature leaf fall, which weakens the rose plant significantly over time. Moving on to HIV and AIDS. HIV is a virus that spreads through body fluids. It attacks T helper lymphocytes, which are vital for coordinating your immune response, eventually destroying the immune system. It's important to distinguish between HIV and AIDS. A person can have HIV for years without symptoms, but AIDS is the stage where the immune system is severely damaged, leaving the body vulnerable to infections. Tuberculosis is a serious bacterial disease primarily affecting the lungs. It spreads through airborne droplets from coughing or sneezing. It is most common in overcrowded conditions where ventilation is poor. Treatment for TB involves a long course of antibiotics to ensure the bacteria are fully eliminated. Vaccination can also provide protection for high-risk groups. Cholera is a severe bacterial infection of the small intestine, transmitted through water contaminated with human waste. The bacteria release toxins, leading to rapid, life-threatening dehydration. For cholera, the most vital intervention is rehydration. Replacing lost fluids and salts is the primary treatment that saves millions of lives globally. Measles is a highly contagious viral disease spread through the air. It often causes a characteristic red rash and fever. Before widespread vaccination, it was a leading cause of death in children. The MMR vaccine provides strong protection against measles, mumps, and rubella. Herd immunity requires very high vaccination coverage, around 95%, to prevent outbreaks. Antibiotic resistance is a critical modern health issue. When we overuse antibiotics, bacteria evolve through natural selection, becoming resistant. Remember, antibiotics only kill bacteria, not viruses. Finally, when taking exams, remember, viruses need host cells to reproduce. Vectors are carriers, not pathogens, and always state if a disease is bacterial or viral. Good luck with your revision.